Theseus's widow dares to love Hippolytus.
Oh God, she went down for the schleppy. She tried to get his schleppy. Shame on you, Phaedra. I am bundled up and I am ready for a lovely, good story. Welcome to the Thread of the Sword. If you don't know who I am, I'm Voyia. I play a variety of games and I also take game requests. So if you want me to play something, please do not hesitate to ask me, okay? This is a third game. So if you're here on the third game, this is a third game to something else, okay? So if you want to see the first and the second, please go and check. Either I'm going to put it in the top part, that little eye in the corner. I'll put it in the top part there when the video first starts. And I'll put it at the end of the video so you guys can go click on that and go watch the part 2 and 3. Let me put my headset on. And while I put my headset on, I want you guys to consider subscribing and liking the video. Don't forget, I am trying to be the biggest YouTuber. Not the biggest, but, one of the biggest out there. So, it would make my day if you guys, hit the subscribe button. This game is the third entry of a trilogy game. It is highly advised to play the 2 previous entries more detailed on the game page. Okay, so there's your little thingy right there. Warning, this game involves triggering content around prosciutto incest, stepmother and stepfather, teenage grooming, shoot attempts, and symbolic grape. Okay, so if you can't handle that stuff, I completely understand. I have so many games, and let me fix my OBS because it's just kind of like in the weirdest spot. I completely understand if you guys don't want to hear stuff like this. Now, this game has voice acting as well, so I will only probably be sitting and watching, just like you guys.
Why does she want to talk to me?
I don't know. Inoni just told me the queen was asking for you. I suppose she wants to talk about the death of your father.
The Ramines. I hope I said his name right. That must be somebody that, I don't know, a servant or something, but still, if they gave them a name, I'm going to assume that they're an important person.
Right. She is now a widow after all. She must be suffering.
Oh, and he still cares. The young prince of Athens admitted, looking at the golden door in front of him, separating him from the queen's quarters. He sighed.
I will find you when the discussion is over, so that we can prepare our departure to find my father, alive or dead. Thanks, the Ramines.
The Ramines, I was right.
Of course.
Oh, so at least, this must be like his friend or something. Or like a soldier or something. The prince's confidant answered, an encouraging smile on his face as he watched Apollonius, Jesus, I'm going to mess up their names all the time. Don't judge me. Open the door. Oh God, with heavy steps he goes in. This game gives me chills. I'm already like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Because if you remember, the second game, he was kind of confessing that he actually did have feelings. So I wonder if he confessed those feelings here or what happens. I'm so excited. Like, I hope he kind of tells her. And also, again, I wanted to see absolutely everything, each side. I kind of want to see the dad's side, to be honest. Maybe he knew about this. When he entered the room, he saw the alarming face of Phaedra, his stepmother, Queen of Athens. Apollonius stayed silent, looking at the woman who had bullied him for years, being the reason he had to leave Athens and stay in Thorazon. I hope I said that right. In the end, Hippolytus grew accustomed to the tranquility of the woods and would rather spend his time there than in a court. Okay, so yeah, she did, I think he said, she was kind of, mean to him at first, and then, she did. And then I also did some research on these people, too, from the mythology and stuff, so it kind of was stated that she was kind of mean to him for some reason, but anyways. He knew, however, that Phaedra did not send him there out of kindness. And yet, for the first time, she appeared vulnerable to him. He felt pity gaining in his heart, imagining the pain she must be suffering from. She was a widow, and her son had no father to protect him. The queen could not look away either. Her stepson's youthful trait captured her eyes. She saw in his eyes all the crackling of the flame burning inside of her. When she felt her wet nurse hands on her shoulder, she managed to whisper, almost inaudibly,
Here he is. All my blood retreats into my heart. What was I supposed to tell him?
Remember your sons, whose only hope you are.
Phaedra gulped, clenching her fists. Her sons. She had to make sure Hippolytus would not punish them for all the harm she had caused in the past. Okay, so she's just basically wanted to ask him to not hurt her sons because she was mean and evil. Okay, Phaedra. She lowered her head as to empty it before holding it high as she was used to doing it as the Queen of Athens.
I heard that a prompt departure will take you away from us. Let me join my tears to your pain, and let me explain my fears about my sons. Their father is now gone, and they will be witnesses of my own death only in a few days.
Oh no, she's gonna die?
Their childhood is already attacked by thousands of enemies, and you are the only one who can protect them. But I fear that I closed your ears to their screams, and that your just anger pursues in them all the hatred you have for me.
Hippolytus looked on the side, confused. Did he hate Phaedra? He knew for a fact that he did not appreciate her and she had wronged him. However, perhaps his feelings were closer to indifference than they were to hatred. Choosing to keep the details, he simply answered,
I haven't got feelings this low, Phaedra.
Oh, if you hated me, I would not complain. I was a declared enemy of yours, claimed it privately and publicly, refused to endure hearing the sound of your name, wanted to be separated from this name by sea. Yet
I didn't mean to hit the button that fast, sorry.
the depths of my heart. And if only hatred can attract further hate. No woman was ever worthier of pity, and less deserving of your enmity.
She really's trying to protect her kids. The blonde prince blinked, barely understanding the words coming from Phaedra's mouth. She did not hate him? Sorry, I had a phone call. I had to hang up my phone. I apologize. What were then all these years of persecution for? Were they just for her son's interests? Hippolytus thought it might have been the reason, an understandable one. He did not want to shove her away, not when she was making the first steps to admitting her attitude, and was already dying. Without directly looking at Phaedra, he nodded, crossing his arms.
I understand. A mother, jealous of the rights of her children, rarely tolerates the son of another wife. Inopportune suspicions are the most common fruits of a second union. In your place, anyone would have taken umbrage, and perhaps I would have suffered from even more offense.
Ah, Hippolytus, all the gods whom I take as witnesses made me an exception to this common rule. A different matter troubles and consumes me.
Don't feel troubled yet. Perhaps...
Hippolytus looked at her, and her expression was a twist of pain and something sweeter, or more passionate, that she had felt inside. Certainly her love for Theseus, he naively thought. Here's the thing. I want to believe that Phaedra did this to appease her sons, to please her kids. Like, yes, I would never take another son as my own. But just part of me is just like, maybe it's something deeper than that. I feel like it's just something deeper than that, and I hate that. He wanted to comfort her. She was pitiful, and he could not help but to think that it was his duty as Theseus' older son.
Perhaps your husband still sees the light of day. Poseidon protects him, and this tutelary god won't be invoked in vain by my father.
He's such a sweet kid. That's so crazy.
Nobody has ever seen the shores of death twice, Hippolytus.
Oh my god. Phaedra's voice was dark, deep, and instead of her vulnerability and struggles, it was her royalty which spoke.
Since Theseus has reached this somber coastline, you hope in vain that he will come back to you. The greedy Acheron never lets go of its prey.
Now, is this her hoping that he's, gone? Or is this, she just has in her heart that, yes, no one ever makes it back? That's the scary part. And forgive me for my voice, you guys. My voice is gone, okay? I don't know why. My allergies are kicking my butt. I hate spring. The queen, refusing to vainly believe in her husband's survival and wanting to state it firmly, looked at Hippolytus, confused expression. She should be confused too. I mean, he should be confused, not she. He should be confused too, because you don't want your husband alive? Like, you should hold out hope until there's no hope. She loved his traits. He looked like Theseus when he was younger, but had something wilder, more impetus that she enjoyed.
No, he is not dead, since he breathes in you.
Oh no.
It is as if my husband were here, before my eyes. I see him. I speak to him. And my heart.
Phaedra took a step back, her hand holding the fabric of her chiton, realizing she was about to reveal her forbidden feelings for her stepson that she was in love with. She shook her head under Hippolytus' raised eyebrow.
I digress. My crazed ardor speaks in spite of me.
Hippolytus could not hide his skepticism as the thought started to emerge in his mind. Comparing him to her husband, his father, the step she took towards him before stepping back. Could she be? He shook his head as Phaedra did a few seconds ago. No, it was an unpure thought, and he felt ashamed for letting it form in his mind. And yet, this nagging doubt, he just needed confirmation. So he feels it too. She loves him because he looks like the younger version of his dad. And he is starting to feel it too. Oh no. Poor little Hippolytus. Oh my goodness.
I see the prodigious effect of your love. Even though he is dead, you still see Theseus. Your soul is still inflamed with love.
Yes, Prince. I languish. I burn for...
Oh God, she's getting psychopath. I mean, not psyche. She's getting crazy. Psychopath. The queen almost screamed, taking a step towards Hippolytus. Before interrupting herself, she gulped, trying to collect her thoughts.
Theseus. I love him.
Okay, she's catching herself.
But not as hell has seen him. A fickle worshipper of thousands of objects, coming to dishonor the bed of the god of the dead. No. I love him faithful, proud, and even wild. Charming, young, drawing all the hearts behind him, such as one depicts the gods. Or, as I see you.
Hippolytus' eyes slowly widened with horror as he took a step back. Phaedra approached him, closer than she had ever been. Inspect his traits from closer. No, she looks crazy.
Your eyes, your language. That noble modesty colored his face when he sailed across our Cretan waters, worthy object of Minos' daughter's desire.
She looks so insane. The young prince wanted to run away, to find an escape from this woman who was progressively pinning him against the wall. He never saw such an expression on her face. She looked entranced, as if a force stronger than her was speaking instead.
What were you doing then? Why, without Hippolytus, did he gather the flower of Greek heroes? Why, too young then, could you not embark upon the ship that set him upon our shores? The monster of Crete would have died by your hand, despite the numerous windings of his vast retreat. To make sure you achieved that goal, my sister would have put the fatal thread in your hand.
And then an instant of silence. Hippolytus thought that he could breathe. He thought Phaedra would realize she was going too far. Perhaps Theseus' death had made her lose all reason, but he hoped that she would still manage to realize that even for an instant she was soiling him and her. But instead, Phaedra screamed, grabbing Hippolytus' face with her hands.
No, I would have outstripped her. Love would have inspired the thought to me. It is I, Prince. It is I whose useful help would have taught you the way through the labyrinth.
The way through the labyrinth, huh? She just changed colors. She just changed from purple to pink a little bit. A lot of it. She's pink now.
With what care would I have cherished your dear head? A thread would not have reassured your lover enough.
Phaedra then took Hippolytus' hand, walking around the room, her gaze lost in the horizon as if she had found herself in the labyrinth with Hippolytus at his side, looking for the Minotaur.
Bride to the peril you had to go through. I would myself have asked to walk in front of you.
I'm sorry. I'm leaned in and I hit my freaking water bottle. I'm trying to keep water around me because I'm losing my voice so badly. So just 1 second, you guys. Okay, I'm good. I had to clear my throat. It feels a little better.
And Phaedra, coming down to the labyrinth with you, would have returned or perished by your side.
Oh, goodness. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for the young prince. He pushed Phaedra away from him, his cheeks reddened with anger, his hands burning with impurity she left on it.
Gods! What am I hearing? Phaedra, do you forget that Theseus is my father and your husband?
Phaedra looked at the cold floor Hippolytus threw her onto. Clumsily standing up, she tried to hide her shame. She just answered, using her regional voice again.
And what makes you think I forgot about it, Prince? Would I have lost all care for my glory?
If Hippolytus' cheeks were still red, it was not because of anger, but of shame and remorse. You pushed him away and made him stay away. In the woods, by the way, where he learned that he wanted to be a different person. He didn't want love and all that other stuff. And now you bring him back here because his father's missing to tell him that you loved him. I'm wondering if she pushed him away because of that. She saw him as a younger person, when he was younger, and was like, I might fall in love with you. Let me go ahead and send you away. Let me go ahead and be mean to you. Maybe that's what she did. I don't know. Phaedra was just reliving moments with her husband, projecting herself in her own sister's shoes. There was nothing more to it. When she complimented his face, she was seeing Theseus, and Hippolytus dared to think that she was talking about him. He dared to believe his stepmother would develop a shameful love for him. He felt dishonored, disgusted for having such a thought. He, who took pride in his purity and virtue, was able to create such horrendous and vile scenarios.
Phaedra, please forgive me. I confess, blushing, that I falsely accused innocent words.
His vision started to get blurry at the thought that he was certainly as vile as others, as distorted, as perverted. He brought his hand to his mouth, which still felt acid after his false accusations.
My shame can no longer endure your vision, and I go.
Oh, he's crying. Phaedra, stop this, please. Do not hurt this boy anymore. But before he could even move, Phaedra jumped onto him, grabbing his arm as she fell on her knees.
Oh, you cruel. You've listened for too long.
Let go of me!
I've told you enough to undeceive you. Then know, Phaedra and all her fury. I love you.
Oh God, she changed to red now. This is crazy. She's red now. She screamed, shouted those words which froze Hippolytus. He did not misunderstand. His virtue was still intact, but at what cost? He was unable to speak, unable to run away.
Do not think that, while I love, innocent in my eyes, I approve of myself.
Hippolytus tried to step back, but as an answer, Phaedra's grip on his arm got firmer.
Do not think that my feeble complacency has fed the poison of my wild love. Unfortunate object of celestial vengeance, I abhor myself more than you detest me.
Oh God. The young prince, whose eyes were wide open with horror, managed to shove her away, making Phaedra fall onto the marble floor again. He was boiling with horror and frozen with fear.
I said, let go of me!
God, he is so angry at her.
May the gods be my witnesses. Those gods who lit up in my side this fire, fatal to all my race. Those gods who find cruel glory in enchanting the heart of a weak mortal.
On her knees, still on the floor, Phaedra looked at Hippolytus with anger. Messy hair strands were hiding parts of her face. The prince was frightened by her furious eyes.
Recall all the past years in your mind. I didn't just avoid you. I exiled you. I wanted you to find me odious, inhuman. To resist your charms, I have sought your hate.
I knew it. What did I just say? She sent him away because the moment she looked at him, she knew that she would probably have feelings for him. So she sent him away. You're a monster, Phaedra.
Ugh. What have these useless efforts brought me? You hated me more, but I loved no less. Your misfortune even made you more charming.
And the fact that she wants him to hate her, when he's clearly said he holds no resentment towards you. He does not hate you. Phaedra, stand up. Get on your husband might be dead. Get on your feet, I mean. The realization made the queen lie down on the floor, her eyes looking at the ceiling as if they were an entirety of the stars above her, mocking her. She bit her lower lip in frustration, frustrated not to be able to fight against this love, frustrated not to be able to hide it, frustrated at the gods who punished her for the son's crimes.
I languished. I withered. In fires. In tears.
She turned her head towards Hippolytus. A weak smile appeared on her face.
Your eyes would be enough to persuade you of it.
Hippolytus did not look at her. He looked the other way, trying to find an escape. Phaedra sighed in sadness.
If those eyes could look at me for an instant.
This last sentence made Phaedra jolt, and she quickly got back to her feet. What? She was shamelessly begging Hippolytus to look at her when she was revealing the unutterable, when she should instead find a place to hide and die? She shook her head, walking towards Hippolytus.
What am I saying? This shameful confession I just made. Do you think it is voluntary?
Maybe somebody put a spell on her. Think about it. Back in those days, the hooju voodoo stuff was crazy. So maybe somebody put a spell on her, and that's why she's acting this way. Oh God, that'd be insane. I didn't want to read too much in the mythology because I didn't want to. Like, I read some of it, but I didn't read all of it. But maybe that's what happened.
I just came trembling for sons I did not dare to betray, to beg you not to hate them because of me. Weak projects of a heart full with what it loves, alas. I could only tell you about yourself.
Phaedra, on these words, turned her back to Hippolytus, who sighed in relief. It was all going to stop. She was going to vanish from his sight, and he would find the strength to move again. However, the queen turned back to him.
Avenge yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Punish me for this odious love, worthy son of the hero who gave birth to you.
I wouldn't.
Free the universe from a monster you loathe.
He just wants her to stop. He wants her to stop so he can just get back to himself, and she won't stop. She only could see Hippolytus torn with fright and horror. Had his eyes not quivered with fear, she could have taken him for a statue. She had to make him angry. She had to push him towards a towering rage. Phaedra, approaching her face as close as she could to Hippolytus, almost brushing his lips with hers, whispered with widened eyes and a sardonic smile.
Theseus's widow dares to love Hippolytus.
Oh God, she went down for the schleppy. She tried to get his schleppy. Shame on you, Phaedra. How dare you? Oh God. This is so bad. Everything about this is bad. This makes me hate. I want to punch her in the face. He should punch her in the face at least. Like, he may not punish her or whatever she wants him to do, but punch her in the face. Hippolytus panicked at the horrendous sight, and because of the feeling of Phaedra's breath on his lips, he took a step back. His reflex was to slap his stepmother, who immediately fell to his feet. Alas, it did not set him free, as she immediately grabbed his calves.
Trust me, you can't let this horrendous monster escape.
Leave me!
Oh God. Oh no, she's trying to get she's literally trying to get your sword. your actual sword, not the one on your hip either. Run away, Hippolytus, please. The young prince ordered, even begged even, but it was useless, as Phaedra, getting on her knees, pressed her breast against his shivering legs.
Here is my heart. This is where your hand has to strike.
And pressing them harder, she added,
Already impatient to expiate its offense, it wants to come closer to your arm.
She looked up, only to see her stepson's frightened expression. She felt his body tremble against hers. She saw his eyes widen. She felt his sweat against her skin. Frowning and feeling her whole body tense up, she shouted,
Strike!
Oh God.
I won't strike!
He shouted back, feeling tears forming in his eyes. He doesn't even want to hurt her, and she's yet trying so hard. You poor boy. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this. Then the two of them were silent, confused by the turning of events. Oops, I hit the button twice, sorry y'all. Hippolytus would not murder Phaedra? Why? Was it not what Phaedra expected of him? And was it not what he should do to protect his honor from the indecent monster? And if the young prince was still confused, the Queen of Athens understood, or at least thought she did. She whispered with empty eyes,
You are refusing me such sweet torment.
Hippolytus was surprised by how cold she suddenly felt, as if the flame which burnt inside her was withering.
You consider my heart unworthy of your blows.
Phaedra grabbed Hippolytus' hand, leaving a kiss on it. The teenager immediately moved his hand back.
What are you doing?
You do not
She is a
wish to see your
monster.
hand soaked in my vile blood.
She looked up at Hippolytus. Like, my God, look at her. Look what she's done to him. I'm so mad at her. I'm so angry. Look at those little bony fingers. I want to, like, reach my hand through the screen and break her hand. Just like, that's just how angry she's making me. This poor child. They even said teenager. This poor teenager is just trying to live his life, and look what she's doing. She looked up at Hippolytus, her eyes covered in tears.
Please, if you don't want to lend me your arm, please, Hippolytus, at least give me your sword.
What? Hippolytus steps back and puts his hand on his blade with an angry expression.
I'm not doing that!
Give it to me.
No!
Phaedra, still on her knees, approaching Hippolytus, putting her hand on her stepson's... Her stepson's what? What is she touching? Oh my God.
Give it to me.
The adolescent looked at his hand. Phaedra was burning again, grasping his sword more tightly. He authoritatively shouted,
You are not getting anything from me!
Give it to me.
Oh no. Phaedra jumped on her stepson, roaring like a beast. Hippolytus, caught off guard, let his hands go off his sword, letting Phaedra seize it. Without thinking, he almost threw himself onto her. Oh.
No!
Give it to me. Give it to me. Give.
Madam.
I think this is, how did they pronounce her name? Oraine? Or niece? Or niece? Or something like that? Yes. Orne, or what? I might mispronounce the name, but you guys heard it in the beginning, okay? Orne ran to Phaedra, making her let go of the blade.
Hide yourself. Hide your shame.
Oh, God. As Phaedra was dragged away by Orne, Theramenes dared to enter, running into the room. Thank you, Theramenes. Take him out of there, please.
My lord, are you all right?
He put a comforting hand on Hippolytus' back, but found his friend trembling with tears rolling down his cheeks.
My lord, do you hear me? What happened with Phaedra?
Hippolytus was unable to answer. Without looking at Theramenes, he ran away, leaving his sword on the ground as the only memory of the confrontation he had with Phaedra. And this must lead us back to part 2 and what happened between, all of that. This was really good. Oh my God. Like, I can understand Phaedra. I don't agree. So when I say I understand somebody, I am telling y'all I just understand them. That doesn't mean that I agree with them. So I understand Phaedra and how she felt. I disagree with her heavily. Like, I want to punch her in the face heavily as much as I disagree with her. My God, she was so... Oh my goodness. This was so good. And it ties everything back together of what actually happened between them and what happened in the first one and the second one. Oh my God. This was so good. I am so glad I found this whole series. I cannot wait. If there's a part 4. If there's a part 4. I need it in my life. I need it. I don't even like drama stuff. Like, the worst drama I'm going to get is from an anime. That's the worst drama I'm going to get. And I don't even like drama stuff, but this was good. Clap it up. You guys, please go check this game out for yourself. I could not do this game justice, okay? You have to play this game for yourself and feel what I feel right now. Because I could sit here and talk about this game for hours. But it would be better if you experienced it yourself. So all the information for this game will be down in the description below. You guys can go check that game out. And I will see all you guys in the next episode, okay? I love each and every one of you guys oh so much. Peace and love. Stay safe out there, everybody. Bye.